The French Open champion admits that she is yet to find her top form heading into the first Grand Slam of 2019. Simona Halep, photo by Chrysaline Caio, copyright at Sport Vision World No. 1. Simona Halep has suffered a setback in her preparations for the Australian Open after crashing out of her first match at the Sydney International on Wednesday. Halep, who was playing her first competitive match since the China Open in September, crashed out 6-4, 6-4, to Australia's Ashley Barty, a player who she had defeated on 2 previous occasions. The Romanian was broken 4 times as she hit 22 unforced errors to 9 winners. During both sets, Halep crumbled during the business ends. In the opener, the French Open champion was broken whilst serving 4-5 down. Then in the second set, Halep held a 4-3 advantage before losing 4 consecutive games to be knocked out of the tournament, making it the first time she has lost her opening match of a season since 2014. "I think it was a great match after almost 4 months since I played one full match, US Open. I think I played a good level of tennis. I had no inspiration in some important points," Halep said afterwards. "She played really well. Her slice was great today, so she deserved to win this match. But also I was very close to winning. I had so many chances to break her and to take advantage, but I couldn't. I can feel that I don't have the rhythm yet." The past few months have been a turbulent one for the Romanian, who ended her 2018 season early due to a back injury, opting instead to have a longer off-season break. Looking ahead to the Australian Open, Halep has openly admitted that she has no expectations at the upcoming Grand Slam despite being the number 1 seed. Last year, she finished runner-up in Melbourne to Caroline Wozniacki. An early loss this time round could put her number 1 ranking in jeopardy. "I took a longer break because I needed it. Also mentally, also physically," she said, "so I have no expectations in Melbourne. That's what I always say because I cannot expect myself to be at the highest level in this moment, because I didn't play matches. But tennis is good, so I have just to believe in myself more." Embed from Getty Images. Halep embarks upon the Australian swing without a main coach following the departure of Darren Cahill. Cahill announced in December that he wanted to take a break in order to spend more time with his family. Halep is yet to replace him, but remains confident that the situation will not have a negative impact on her performance on the tour. "The situation is that for the next 3 to 4 months, I don't want to take the coach, I go with the flow and I see how it works," Halep recently told WTAtennis.com. Cahill took the decision because of family and family always comes first. "I wasn't disappointed or upset, I fully understood. We have a very good relationship." As Halep looks ahead to Melbourne, Barty now has a shot of becoming the first Australian woman to win the Sydney title since Alicia Molik in 2005. In the quarter-finals she will play either Elise Mertens or Anett Kontaveit. "I finally learned my lesson," Barty said of her win over Halep. "She gave me a belting in Montreal. I learned a little bit more in Cincinnati, but today I knuckled down and really thought about it and really gave myself a chance. The biggest thing, I believed that I win. We're both out here on the same court. Just very happy I was able to come out and execute. I felt like it was really clean, considering the conditions. It was very swirly down at court level, so I figure if I'm going to play Sim at any time, it's her first match and in conditions like this. So I was very happy I was able to make the most of it. Extremely pleased." Elsewhere in the tournament, Tima Baksinski outlasted Sam Stosur 5-7, 6-4, 6-3, in a marathon encounter. The Swiss player was at one point and set in the breakdown against Stosur, but rallied back to secure the win. It was a bittersweet end to the Spaniard's last ever appearance at the New Zealand tournament. At a tournament where he has enjoyed numerous successes, David Ferrer has been forced to cut short his final appearance at the ASB Classic. The 36-year-old took to the court on Wednesday to take on compatriot Pablo Carreno Busta in their second-round match, but was forced to retire after just 2 games. Ferrer succumbed to a right calf injury after trying to play through the pain. This year was his 14th and final appearance in Auckland before he officially retired from the tour in May. "My last tournament, it's not good, but there's no worries, I really have had good memories here. I'm very proud with my career, and for me, my best trophies are your support. I really appreciate everything that you did for me," the former world number 3 said afterwards. "I remember when I came in here in 2003, and now, having played my last match, my last point, I am a different person." Ferrer remains one of the most successful players in the history of the Auckland Open, which was first played back in 1956. He's the only man in the Open era to have won the title 3 years in a row, 2011 to 2013. Ferrer also won the title in 2007. Overall, he has won 32 out of 42 matches played in the tournament since making his debut back in 2013. "It's the worst way to reach the quarterfinals," Carreno Busta said following Ferrer's retirement. "I'm sorry because I know David retires this year. For me it is a pleasure to play against him in one of his last matches on the tour. It's an honor. David was an example to follow throughout my career and continues to be," he added. Opting to skip next week's Australian Open, Ferrer has confirmed that he will play his final tournament in May at the Mutua Madrid Open. Prior to then, he aims to play tournaments in Buenos Aires, Acapulco and Barcelona. Fognini survives as others fall in bed. From Getty Images. Elsewhere at the tournament, Fabio Fognini has become the only seeded player to make it to the quarterfinal stage. The Italian second seed withstood 10 aces from Peter Gojowczyk to prevail 2-6, 6-3, 7-6, 5, after just over 2 hours of play. Fognini, who is yet to reach the final in Auckland, recovered from a breakdown in the decider to win. "There was a lot of work to do to get the win. It's my first round and I fought with everything," Fognini said afterwards. "It was a tough match, but I'm happy to be in the quarterfinals." Fognini's win was not without its blip. During the third set, the animated Italian number 1 received a point penalty after breaking his racket and swearing on court out of frustration. He will next play Philipp Kohlschreiber, who defeated French qualifier Hugo Humbert 6-4, 6-4. Top seed John Isner fired 26 aces during his clash against Taylor Fritz, but still came up short. The world number 10 was edged out 7-6, 3, 7-6, 5 by his younger compatriot. Isner is a 2-time champion in Auckland. Fritz will next take up Great Britain's Cameron Norrie. "One of the strongest parts of my game is how I handle the pressure and play under it," Fritz told local media afterwards. "More often than not, when I lose a match it's because I don't play the big points well, the pressure points. But I'd say that's what's made the difference in tiebreakers for me, being able to play well in those pressure situations." Finally, tennis Sandgren knocked out Marco Cecchinato 6-3, 6-3, setting up a showdown with Argentina's Leonardo Mayer. Marta Kostyuk overcame a nervous start to use her form from last year and advance into the second qualifying round of the Australian Open. Marta Kostyuk, Zimbio.com. 16-year-old Ukrainian Marta Kostyuk overcame some early nerves as she defeated Jana Sapelova 6-3, 7-5 to reach the second qualifying round at the Australian Open. The youngster qualified last year at the age of 15 and reached the third round before losing to Elina Svitolina and is aiming to do the same in 2019. An impressive 21 winners helped Kostyuk overcome some early nerves to defeat Jana Sapelova in straight sets and progress into the second qualifying round. After the win, Kostyuk explained that she was nervous as she had the memories of last year still in her mind. "I feel it wasn't my best match. I'm happy I got through this because I've never felt so nervous before a match," the teenager told AusOpen.com. "Never in my life, I'll tell you this secret, that when I was walking onto the court I thought I was going to cry because I was so nervous. I've also been going through a lot in the past year. True insight from the world number 116 who overcame these negative emotions to overcome her veteran Slovakian opponent, who picked up an injury during the match. Next for Kostyuk is Amandine Hess, who managed to overcome Leslie Kirkova 1-6, 7-6, 6-7, 6-8 in a battle. This match was one of many matches on day one which tested the new 10-point final set tiebreak. There were also wins for other teenage players such as Wimbledon Juniors champion Iga Swiatek and Olympic youth champion Kaja Juvan. The latter continued her 2018 momentum with a tough 2-hour battle over 17th Janina Wickmeyer, while Swiatek survived a tough test from Moscow River Cup champion Olga Danilovic. In battle between the two bright stars of the women's game, it was the Pole who defeated the Serbian 1-6, 7, 6, 4, 7, 5. Kokkinakis advances despite not receiving a wildcard for the men's draw. Thanasi Kokkinakis overcame Egypt's Mohamed Safwa in straight sets to reach the second qualifying round. The Australian, who defeated Roger Federer in Miami last March, needed a second set tiebreak to advance in Melbourne. I feel like I should have done it easier, but he's a tough player, he's sneaky good. At the start I was playing such a high level, it wasn't anything flashy, but I made him play a lot of balls, Kokkinakis said about the match. The 32nd seed will now play Austrian Sebastian Ofner after he defeated Yasutaka Uchiyama in straight sets to set up a meeting with Kokkinakis. There were also wins for rising talents Felix Auger-Aliassime, Christopher Eubanks and Miomir Kekmanovic. Auger-Aliassime and Eubanks will play each other on Thursday for a place in the final qualifying round of the Australian Open. The mentor of the world number 1 has spoken about Djokovic's bid to break Roger Federer's Grand Slam record. The prospect of holding all 4 Grand Slam titles within the same season is motivating Novak Djokovic ahead of the Australian Open, according to his mentor Marian Vida. The world number 1 enters into Melbourne next week on a 14-match winning streak in Grand Slam tournaments. Last year Djokovic defeated Kevin Anderson to win Wimbledon, followed by triumphing over Juan Martin del Potro in the final of the US Open, bringing Djokovic's total tally in the majors to 14, which is the third highest of all time alongside Pete Sampras. Novak would like to win the calendar Grand Slam, to win all 4 of the biggest tournaments in the same year, Vida told Sport Club. At present, the 31-year-old is on course to achieve a non-calendar Grand Slam should he triumph in both Melbourne and the French Open. He has already reached that milestone before between 2015-2016. Although only one man in the Open era has ever achieved a calendar slam, within all the same majors within the same year. That was Australian legend Rod Laver back in 1969. Should Djokovic continue the dominance he established during the second half of 2018, he could one day threaten Roger Federer's all-time record of 20 Grand Slam titles. Djokovic is 6 years younger than his Swiss rival. We have also talked about beating Roger Federer's record. Novak currently has 14 Grand Slam titles, and Roger 20. In order to do all this, he needs to work hard and be healthy, said Vida. When I started working with Novak again, he was not able to win the important matches. I knew he would be a champion again, I just did not know when. He added. Last week Djokovic encountered a blip on the tour after crashing out in the semi-finals of the Qatar Open in Doha. He was leading the match by a set and a break, but ended up losing to eventual champion Roberto Bautista Agut, making it the first time he has failed to win a title at 2 consecutive tournaments since June. Despite his loss, rival Federer has tipped the Serbian to be the strong favorite for the Melbourne title next week. Should he win this year, Djokovic would become the most decorated male player in Australian Open history, with 7 titles. No doubt about it, Novak is the favorite, said Federer. Regardless of what happened in Doha, the game had a super strong last 5 or 6 months of the year. With his class, once he gets his groove back, he is hard to beat. The main draw for the Australian Open will be conducted on Thursday.